And you just mentioned that he hasn't had the biggest pop-up performances on the Baron lane Queens, but you will need to make that happen right now, if that, of course, is his champion of choice. The Renekton locked in as the counterpick into it could mean that this Camille does slot into jungle instead. Now, it is on a patch where that has been weakened. It no longer has great interactions with the jungle camps on Camille's hookshot, but it does still function as a really solid ganking jungler that can side lane.
Yeah, T-Tigers attempted to pull it out, and it can be a comfort pick if Andre wants to go with it. But I was going to note this, Max. Notice how Team Queso, even in the wins that Sengoku Gaming had really triumphed over, a lot of them came from games where Rush was dominating in the early game on the Lee Sin, but they banned the Nunu instead, and Sengoku didn't even take it when they had the chance. So now this gives Andre the opportunity to take it for his own, and now they're supplying a little bit of extra follow-up engage with this Galio.
Lee Sin being the choice here means that you have all that pick potential, and with Nunu off the board, as you mentioned, the premier tank jungler isn't there to be a brick wall for Rush's champion pool, so he is going to go for that scaling style of champion, that more selfish style of champion, sort of going against what we heard the analysts say, specifically Riku, I think, used the volleyball terms as Rush's the setter to Hawk's ace, but you do still have a lot of ways that you can play as the 2v2 here for Sengoku. You have the magic damage and the physical side. Graves tends to want to be in melee range, which really is appreciated by a champion like Orianna, who wants to attach the ball to you and pop that shockwave.
There's still time for Deja Vu to come in if we're going to continue down the volleyball terms, be the libero, always be the last kind of call efforts, like, hey,
they're saving him counterpick.
They are indeed saving him counterpick. So, and now that we've seen that Diana and Corki are locked in the board, we know that this is going to be memorized. It's Galio. We have seen, mainly from TSM's Carlito, pull out some fantastic performances on the Galio.
Nice.
But Sengoku, Deja Vu, I mean, he's going to go for that classic Alistar that he has been making great performances on. Anytime I see rock about Alistar now in my solo queue games, I'm immediately just experiencing PTSD.
I've really been enjoying the tank support pool. I'm glad that Alistar is joining the ranks of that as well. The champion that is just really solid. You know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to headbutt Pulverize, and he's not going to die. He has that unbreakable will. And that's just a really solid thing to have on your team, especially when you do see, for Sengoku, they have a lot of setup crowd control. They've got Renekton's stun that he's got with his Ruthless Predator, and Juan can go for the Chains of Corruption too to set up and kill exactly one person. But also what Alistar does is provides a secondary option for that Orianna ball as well. Another shockwave deliverer, very, very valuable into that backline, which as of right now, and will be for this game, is really only Evu's Corki.
Sengoku have the means of some decent primary engage, as you've already noted before, thanks to Chain of Corruptions, as well as Alistar being able to follow up or even look for it and comboing with that Shockwave. What I'm really looking at, though, is that how committed to dives from this roster of Team Queso, because you have the Camille that can always look to lock someone down with X-Tech Ultimate, a package right on top of that, Hero's Entrance on top of that.
Yep.
If it's not the Camille, you've got freaking Diana who's ready to come in with Moonfall. I mean, everyone is just piling on in, and if Sengoku Gaming are not able to react fast enough with the disengage the abilities that they have, then this is a way for Team Queso to start off the series right.
And realistically, there isn't a whole lot that you can do disengage away from a Camille Galio engage, apart from literally stasis. You only have that as an option. If you do have that, then great, you might not die. If not, those two ultimates in conjunction are just so strong. I remember the two of us have played a lot of ranked games on the Camille and the Galio together, those sweet summer nights that we had together, Rafa, playing the Camille Galio.
Back in July and August, man. Back when Camille was still playable in the jungle, that was kind of like our climbing strat.
Yeah.
Just straight from unranked all the way to Emerald, you know?
Whatever happened to those days, Rafa?
Well, we started playing against better players. So it is
we
what it is.
became better players as well.
Kind of similar to the journey of many of our other teams coming in over from the West. They were the best in their regions, and now they've gone up against better teams. But for those all at home, make sure you don't miss out on content you're already paying for by linking your Prime account with your Wildrift account, where you'll receive a random skin chest thanks to our friends over at Prime Gaming. Got primers?
I do, yeah. I picked up my skin just yesterday, actually.
Hell
Got
yeah.
Scorched Earth Renekton. Great skin. I was looking at getting a Renekton stuff, because I need to get more into the Baron lane pool. Speaking of the Baron lane pool, we do have that Renekton up there in that spot. As Rush pathing around that location, Acolyte pushing pretty far, could lead to some action with Rush, but on this Graves, probably more likely that he will just continue farming up and get some more levels.
The interesting thing about this, anytime that junglers will go to their Krugs instead of the Raptors after red buff, is usually kind of indicates that they are looking to lean towards one side of the map, whereas if they go for Raptors first after red buff, they're usually wanting to come straight to mid lane, tax a little bit, push in the wave, and then get priority for one of the Scuttle Crabs.
Exactly what Andre's doing. He just takes red into Raptors, hits level 3, arrives in mid, gets this push out. Now, Team Queso have their pick of the litter when it comes to the Rift Heralds. Andre's actually sneaking outside of the range of vision. There is a ward that could potentially spot him, but Sengoku definitely thinks that he's topside now.
Yeah, Team Queso have to jump on the Rush here. Flash from Andre to make sure that he can get in there. Even the flash from Rush is not going to stop Burst Blood from happening. Team Queso have taken Sengoku out of the jungle.
I absolutely adore that vision play that Andres went for. Like I said, he hopped over the wall after edging toward the topside river. Sengoku were like, okay, he's picking topside. We're free to go down bot. We're free to take our Scuttle Crab and handshake that one away. But memorizing Ibu found this collapse alongside Andres.
But I don't know if they know that Kai is here waiting to capitalize. They know that Andre doesn't have flash from before, as he already committed it for the pick on the Rush. It's a lot of damage coming out from Sengoku Gaming. It's not going to kill Andres, but they will claim the Scuttle Crab this time around.
Andres had a great first play to take that Scuttle Crab, but then he got just a little too greedy. You can't take both of them at the same time. The death timers are not long enough this early into the game, but we do get another look at this one. And memorized, great crowd control chain leads into that song.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Ibu's last auto attack, that flash from Rush could have been the saving grace for him to get out of First Blood alive. Sengoku don't get away so easy. Team Queso, solid start, and that's them about a 500, 700 gold lead into the early game. Nothing to write home about, but it is definitely one to set the pace of. But looking at the next two neutral objectives coming up just a minute from now, no one is close to hitting their first item power spike quite yet, but actually, as I say that, Ibu could be getting towards that Essence Reaver quite in time before the objective spawn.
Definitely could. I'm certainly looking at memorized here at this point because he is just a few seconds or a minion away from hitting that level 5 point, at which point he can play in conjunction with Acolyte and almost certainly kill one target. Just his level 5 now as he's walking back to the lane. He is going away from where Acolyte actually is, so Team Queso aren't planning on coordinating this so soon, but they have this opportunity as he's now recalling to go for one of the objectives that they have available to them. Perhaps this Rift Herald, that's where Acolyte already is.
Kai taking a recall as well. Look at how Sengoku are swapping lanes, so you can tell that they're putting more resources into contesting this early Rift Herald Sengoku. I mean, we have already seen such a shift in priority, and of course with Daku Gaming specifically making the early read of playing towards the Rift Herald, trying to invest a lot of resources into snowballing one particular character, one particular carry to receive a lot of resources and just getting them smooth and smooth.
Sengoku initiating this swap means that they take the Rift Herald completely uncontested, and that's something that I typically really appreciate when teams do at the early stage. They go for this Rift Herald, it's a lot easier to kill. They did trade it for an Infernal Drake, and that is a lot of extra damage that's being provided to the Queso now forever.
And Deja Vu coming over here to assist Kai, making sure that Team Queso, despite not having Rift Herald, they had an opportunity to burn down this turret. We have to see what Rush plans on doing. He has the Rift Herald on his side, but he did not crash it or spawn it into the Baron lane because Acolyte doing a pretty good job of defending it in 1v2.
We're seeing both teams take this sort of half measure, trying to defend and attack at the same time across the entire map. And I like that you mentioned, Rafa, that Rush didn't pop Rift Herald, so Sengoku didn't fully commit to one side or the other, knowing that they did have 3 members on this bottom side of the map. So Sengoku keep that opportunity for them later. And if you look at their item builds as well, you can see the Seraph's Embrace is being built up. You can see Juan is going for its Ear of the Goddess as well. They're okay scaling up and waiting for a couple more item spikes before they get their team fights on.
Memorize wants to look for Kai here. Even if they don't get the kill, pushing him off will do enough of a job for Team Queso. If they rush this down, Raquel's going to crash. It's going to be super close, but Sengoku are going to be the ones that come out on top of the first break.
Nice bump and gold for Sengoku, specifically centered around this top side pack. Juan picking that up, Rush picking that up. They're balloon just a bit more into this game. They have a little ways to go before they can match that goal of previous, mostly due to this lane swap that Juan took for himself. That turret structure is going to be nice, especially when the next Rift Herald comes online, and especially when it comes to speed buff that was just taken away.
Rush is still sitting on item completion, so he has to respawn right now. However, the rest of Team Queso not necessarily in a position where they can capitalize and catch someone out from Sengoku and start a fight. So this tempo time, or this tempo reset from Rush, not going to be punished from the side of Team Queso, just because the defense has been such a great job. And honestly, Smack, it's been so close and such little action. I hope I'm not, you know, caster cursing it right now, but I'm knocking on the desk just to make sure that both Sengoku and Team Queso are not only playing with respect, but also trying to optimize every single play.
Just feeling each other out as they sort of have been this entire tournament. You know, both these teams have been scaling up in their team strategies across the entirety of the Horizon Cup, and this is the best time to call them. This is the match point for both of them. If they win this series, they are in. They lose, they are out. Simple as that. This is their direct competition for that third seed in this group. So play patient, wait for that perfect opportunity, and take low-risk plays.
Rift Herald spawn. They got a charge off. They didn't take down the tier 1 turret, though, against Team Queso. They're going to hold on to the middle center point of their map, lose that center point, and then it becomes just that much easier for Sengoku to start invading to your jungle, start getting aggressive vision down, and that's when things start getting really tricky for Team Queso, trying to catch side waves and rotating out, because you have, we go back to the top of the show, we looked at what kind of champions that Sengoku have. They have powerful pick champions, Shockwave, Chain of Corruptions, and Alistar combo. You combo that together, someone's dead.
They're still taking their time. They're not trying to activate that immediately. You can see that with Juan, he's moving again up to this Baron lane, not trying to get priority for himself in the mid lane. He's just trying to get as many resources as possible into him before the team fights actually begin. Because, as you said, Dejuo has this type of pulverize. He has that accessible at level 2. He's level 8, so he's definitely waiting for a bit, but this might be the opportunity.
Package is available. Ebu is coming as fast as he can.
There it is.
Oh, there's the engage. Hextech Ultimatum on to Hawk. They want to land the rest of the combo. Shockwave barely misses. Chain of Corruptions responds on to Memorize. Looking at Rush, putting in some damage. Stasis on to Kai, and just frontlining for the rest of the team. And how can it be possible, Spax, that no one goes down?
Well, the reason is because Sengoku went for that full disengage. They backed up. They said, okay, they're coming into us. Let's give them that opportunity. Let's just back away, play the defense, toss out this Chain of Corruption, make sure that they have this zone field that they can't really do anything about, try to play away from this package that now has to be used defensively because Connected just hurts.
Okay, Kai, he's a big scary crocodile. He's got a Blade of the Rune King. You hit him with the Empowered Ruthless Predator, and he does a crap ton of your maximum HP as damage. But during that time, Andres was able to secure the Rift Herald. He's going to go for another turret. He's going to guide it over to the Baron lane, but the rest of Sengoku are going to commit 4 members to this mid lane push. They're going to take tier 1.
Mid lane turret feels great to have. Excellent headbutt to cancel out that Justice Punch.
3-man taunt. Memorize trying to set up on the Dejuo, but he pops the Unbreakable Will. Or actually, not quite. He's just that damn tanky.
Yep. Alistar, super tank as it turns out, especially with that Aftershock that he popped earlier with the Headbutt Pulverize combination. And like I said, he did a great job to stop the momentum of Memorized on that engage. He was clearly going for something with that Justice Punch. Could have potentially gone for the Justice Punch flash play, but didn't end up having that opportunity because of Dejuo's excellent, which moved back away as Reese.
He has the flash. Yeah. He recognized the danger right there. As soon as he Luna rushed forward and saw a crocodile and a cow amidst the bush there, he thought to himself, this is one rodeo I don't want to be a part of, Max. I don't have enough rope, and I don't have enough food to keep these animals away. And
That's a cowboy hat, too. I'm gonna have to hit up Kangas for that one. I don't know how much he's gonna want this one. We'll wait for game 4 to see if he actually does want to put that one back up. But I digress. Both teams, again, they're still feeling each other out. They're still waiting around for the moment where they feel really, really powerful, where they feel that the team fights are completely theirs. And because they're sort of scaling up adjacent to each other, just waiting on cooldowns and waiting on the other teams to slip up.
See how Team Queso are just waiting for Sengoku to slip up. Waiting for one carry, whether it's Hawk or Juan, to just walk into a bush thinking that, oh yeah, there's no way in there here. And then BAM! I know it's not Halloween season, Smacks, but you know, they are trying to do the spooky wookie procedure onto them. Deja Vu.
A bit late.
Potentially looking for an engaged opportunity here. Has flash available.
Nice.
Nice kick from Andres. Says, hasta la vista, baby. We're not seeing you today. No more clients. Team Case are going to take their leave. And, man, you can feel the tension in this Game 1, Smacks, because both teams know if you take this Game 1, you have the momentum lead. You're only one game away from closing the distance and guaranteeing a spot into the knockout stage.
Both teams know that. They also know that if somebody on their opposition makes an aggressive move, that surely they have the backup, because this game has been so slow. It has been so calculated for both of these squads that if someone's taking that step forward, that just means that you're in a bad position, as Andres potentially will be backing away. He has the Dragon's Rage taken care of.
But I have to say that I'm favoring slightly Team Queso here because they've been able to get chip damage onto these side tier 2 turrets so far. Yes, they don't have control of the tier 1 since Sengoku Gaming was the one that took down that turret just 4 minutes ago. But if you get an advantageous push, a pick on a Deja Vu, answers back with the Unbreakable Will. Have Kai on the sidelines trying to see if he can screen them, but Team Queso are going to force them back, kick away. They're just trying to force down the turret. They are not trying to play a game of actually fighting. They're trying to go for turrets, but oh god, Evo going a little too far forward, which means it's an easy shockwave from Hawk to set up. That's the Dragon Laner gone from Team Queso. A flash from Memorize, see if he can make his great escape. He used the Hero's Edge, says a nice, whoa, what was that boot fall? Ruiz catches up on the 4. Sengoku, can Team Queso clean up the pieces? Can they go for the janitor duty? Andres! Dale, 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 dale! Andres, arriba! Jesus! You are an absolute man, brother.
Triple kill for the Lee Sin on 0 HP. You can see he just now purchased a full Black Cleaver, a full Guardian Angel after that one. What a pop-off from this guy. What a pop-off from you, Rafa, as well. I don't even know what you were saying at that point. That was incredible. Not quite as incredible, though, as the way that Team Queso turned this entire fight around. They got the cooldown out of Dejuo before, and then they fully committed to it.
Yeah, taking a look at this Axe replay, Max, you see that things are going a little awry. Dragon Laner flies in at the speed of sound and then gets eviscerated at the speed of sound as well, but then it still re-engages the confidence from Team Queso to go back in.
Very, very impressive stuff. And this is where it all turns back around for them. Ruiz gets a gigantic chunk onto 4 members. And Andres, huge props to him for being able to manage this amazing cleanup afterward. His janitorial duties have been fulfilled.
Yeah,
Look at him.
Look at him. Ruiz popping off as well, giving props to his jungler. And now Sengoku trying to contest Team Queso in the Dragon Pit. This is the 3rd dragon of the game. Ocean would give a little bit of extra regen as well as spell vamp buffs. Andres onto the sideline. Ibu trying to maintain his distance. No package available. He's going to have to Valkyrie over this wall. He doesn't really want to have to burn flash. Takes a lot of damage from Kai. He has to flash away. This Crocodile is very committed. A Dragon's Rage to Kai separates him from the Dragon Laner. Ibu still trying to fire back with these packages and the missiles, but he's going to go down to Deja Vu. Sengoku Gaming still on the hunt, still on the chase on to Memorize and Ruiz. Ruiz taken very low. Hero's Entrance is going to give him a little bit of reprieve with that magic damage shield, and he's going to walk out alive.
Ibu out of position once more for Team Queso. He's the only member of this backline. Everybody else is full-on dive, completely reckless abandon onto their backliner. It's left for Ibu like, come on guys, don't leave me alone. I want to come help. And then he's just isolated. Everybody in Sengoku knows he is the easiest member to kill, and it all starts with him in this corridor, completely alone. You got to feel for him, but great punch.
I'm not gonna lie, Smacks. Ibu has been quite sus in the positioning, but thankfully the rest of Team Queso have been able to deal with the threats from Sengoku Gaming trying to dive through the front line and take out this core team. The rest of Team Queso still tied up with Sengoku Gaming in terms of gold. Yeah. It is still an even playing field.
I feel like this is one of the only games of Rising Cup that we're going to have that goes all the way to that Elder Dragon. It's barreling toward that minute mark, and the ranks haven't actually been taken on time either, because we're about to hit 16 minutes and it's not even close to spawning. Sengoku with 2 dragons, Team Queso with the Infernal, which I definitely prize as the biggest one to have you get a lot of damage, but on a team like this, you have most...
Andres has been caught! Nice he pops the Dragon's Rage. He had to use Flash as well, but he doesn't lose out on the GA, which is absolutely crucial, making sure that Team Queso can maintain having a jungler on the field.
You know, it's crucial, but at the same time, Andres has just been playing on 1 HP the entire game anyway, so as long as it doesn't hit 0, it's gonna be all right for him. Now moving up to that side lane, just keeping pressure around the Rift for Team Queso. I love this move from him, knowing he doesn't necessarily need to recall. He has a lot of sustain in his kit, so he can just be another extra minion for his team, forcing somebody on Sengoku to come match this as they try to get pressure elsewhere.
And look at that, Andres once again going to split push duty, answering Baron lane side to take down this last turret. Hawk is going to answer him. There's some other members of Team Queso looking to ping the Baron, but that's a very tough objective to take down, Smacks, as we've learned from our solo queue woes.
We can put it in. Let's see what time does Hawk.
Okay.
Whoa!
Right into potential moonfall, but a beautiful stasis from Hawk is going to buy time. Hero's entrance will connect, though, on the knockup. Last Sonic Wave into the resonating strike. Makes the mark. Hawk goes down, but it's a 3-man knockup from Deja Vu. Sengoku Gaming with the counter. Re-engage. Kai on the front lines, chasing away Team Queso. And Andres doesn't have any reinforcements coming for him this time around, as Sengoku now have 3-3.
They've evened the kill score at this point. It was in Team Queso's lead the whole rest of the game, and now they're trying to move into the rest of the jungle. They're trying to see if they can get anything more, but this game is just so close at this point. As soon as you take a kill, as soon as you take a team fight, you sort of just have to go back to base, like, all right, we got this small victory. It's just a battle of small victories the entire time, just throwing missiles at each other in the game of Battleship.
Looking at this, despite it being a 3-for-3 or a 2-for-2 even trade, Sengoku are going to come out more victorious in this trade, because not only they took the GA off of Andres, which means he's not going to have as much freedom to make such a risky play going for a kick or for an assassination onto the backline, but also it gave a lot of time for Rush to counter jungle and steal more gold away from Team Queso's jungle, which is only going to be better for Rush. As Memorize looking for a taunt onto Rush, but no one is there for the follow-up. Acolyte, they pick their target on the Deja Vu. He pops the Unbreakable Will, has to flash away from danger as he was getting very low there. Sengoku still keeping all 5 alive.
Flash and Unbreakable Will means that Deju Wu doesn't have nearly as much engage on this squad. Now it feels like Team Queso have the entire pit to themselves in terms of the Drake, but they're not satisfied with that. They want to play fourth vision. Excellent scouting from Juan to shoot the arrow into that brush, not getting killed.
5 members from Sengoku looking to approach the death bush here. The Team Queso are trying to maintain. They are too intelligent to fall to a measly pick. Team Queso trying to see if they can find an opportunity onto Juan, onto Hawk. There's still Tasteless available. That's a lot of damage. Deja Vu patches out. Memorize. He's getting locked up by Chain of Corruptions. This could be the engage for Sengoku to just take this game into their own hands. Rest of Sengoku Gaming deal with Ruiz. Memorize has already been eliminated as well. Acolyte running, going for a recall, and Elder can be the prize for Sengoku.
The layers of the Sengoku team fight are stacked on stacked on stacked, but the teleport is here. Andres is ready and willing to dive into the pit. Reckless abandon. Can he get in? No! He's just dead! And Evo has no means of getting in either. Bravo! They're gonna take the Elder.
Wait. 2,000 HP. It would be
Oh, the
super
shockwave
close,
missed.
but the smite from Rush is going to secure the Elder Cloud Dragon for the team of Japan. Sengoku Gaming, Ace, Team Queso marching down the mid lane.
And no blood was shed in that team fight, but they can't end the game quite yet. Memorized and Ruiz are going to spawn. Sengoku set their sights instead on the Baron. Going to take every objective off of the Rift, claiming their prize, taking a sigh of relief, knowing that they have everything they need to take this series to match point and become that much closer to qualifying for knockouts.
The game is not over, Smacks, but Sengoku Gaming have all the pieces necessary to start taking away every single structure from Team Queso. They can even just pick one lane, and as soon as they find one advantageous pick and maintain a numbers advantage, it will be all that is necessary to take game one.
And it just feels like Hawk on this Orianna is just playing two different champions at once. He's got himself on Orianna, he's got his own health bar, but then he also has this ball. He's attaching to anybody on his team that can be in that front line. Dejiwoo doing a phenomenal job as well, has all this movement speed, has the Zeeks, could potentially dive right here. They don't really need to, though. The minions are doing all the work for them right now.
Even Hawk is doing a great amount of poke right now, throwing out command attacks into dissonance. Doesn't even have to talk the shockwave until he feels it will approach lethal. Both the inhibitor turrets in the mid and the dragon lane have been eliminated and just absolutely destroyed. Sengoku Gaming corralling the minions. Shockwave onto Andres. Aqualite flies forward looking for it. Hextech ultimate pick. A hero's entrance from Memorize tries to break up the fight, but Sengoku Gaming are already advancing forward. A moonfall just to spy time for Team Queso is all going to be all for naught because Sengoku Gaming will move to match point. One more game and